Here we have the 30-minute price chart for Broadcom Incorporated, stock ticker AVGO. Here we can see some interesting moves to the top side, but yeah, the moves themselves have been a bit short-term in nature. We weren't really able to hold some of the highs that were just recently posted, but this has been an interesting trading session here. In prior videos on Broadcom, I've pointed out this sideways trading range that was starting to develop for the stock. Um, and then after the recent break higher, I was looking for some further extension here in share price activity, and this does look as though our projections here were playing out as expected. But overall, the moves to the top side were quick, like they were very brief. We did move above the $1,700 mark, but we really weren't able to sustain this level for very long. Ultimately, the highs posted at 1765. So this is significant, a bit longer term, because it does suggest that we are kind of marching back toward the stock's prior highs after all of the declines that we're seeing in the trading periods that occurred between roughly the middle of June, and then this extended toward roughly toward the end of June. So roughly June 16th to June 25th. We did see some fairly substantial declines at that point. But for the most part, we did manage to develop a support zone here, a higher level of support. And this roughly comes in at 1570. So, overall, I am looking at this as an encouraging development here, because it does suggest that we are, establishing a foothold at higher and higher levels. I have seen some of the other analysis that was done on this stock. Many people were kind of pointing to this trend line break here, and they were essentially saying that the uptrend is over. Stop buying this stock. Time to get out. Broadcom is done. Game over. There were some really ridiculous, YouTube titles for videos. But this really wasn't the case. I mean, as we can see here, our expectation here for this trade was for the stock to start to establish itself at a higher foothold, and to continue to, post higher lows en route to a retest of the stock's all-time highs. So, for some people are discouraged by this stock because the share price level is so high. But it will be important to kind of keep this name on your radar, because we're going to be seeing a stock split in this stock. Um, and that does make it much more accessible to retail markets. It does make it much easier to trade. And we will be seeing this relatively soon. And that alone often, it really shouldn't bring the share prices higher, but more often than not, that is the effect, because more people tend to become interested in these stocks once they're easier to purchase. I mean, a $1,700 stock is very difficult to purchase, but this won't be the case much longer. So if you're not currently long the stock, I would definitely keep this on your radar, because this is one of the great uh, artificial intelligence choices that we currently have available in the market. So all of that said, we do need to point to uh, some flaws here, let's call it, in the uptrend, which make it sort of surprise, not which make it not surprising that we're starting to see a bit of a rollover here. In particular, we can point to, this indicator reading in the relative strength index, which did show that share prices had reached heavily overbought territory. We really came in just below the 90 level. I'd call this maybe 89.60 roughly, which does, we really are in heavily overbought territory at that point. So it's really not surprising to see a corrective downtrend here, or a corrective pullback decline in share prices. I mean, we have seen a pretty significant run here. And then to start the trading day today, we really did see a fairly strong spike higher. As we can see here, it really wasn't sustainable. This is a 30-minute price chart. So, this is really where we left off yesterday. Well, day before yesterday. Yesterday was a holiday. The prior trading session, let's call it that. And we can see here that we opened quite strongly. I mean, this is the first half hour of trading. And you'll have to remember this also comes during a day where there's reduced liquidity in the market. That's due to the July 4th holiday. There are just simply a lot of orders that normally would be in the market, during these trading periods. But a lot of those positions were closed, in advance of the holiday. So we would expect a lot of that liquidity to return on Monday, and then share price action, and overall volatility levels to kind of return to normal next week. But there was also economic data to start the day. We had the non-farm payrolls number, which did have an effect on markets, and it did send share prices for many stocks. It did send those higher in some cases. Currently what we're looking at is highs of 1765 in AVGO. This would be the level, the next level to watch to the top side. But it does look as though we're going to be in here. We're going to be in for a period of continued downside retracement lower because, we have broken this uptrend here in share price momentum. This does suggest that, this latest run higher has probably run its course. We're going to need to see a bit of downside price movement in order to kind of reinvigorate the uptrend and to bring buyers back into the stock. So currently to the downside, the level that I would be watching for potential buy zones would come in just above 1650. This is where we have the prior highs from July 1st. So this is a resistance level that would now be expected to start working as a support zone. And then in addition to that, we do have the 100 period exponential moving average coming in contact here relatively close. Depending on when this occurs, it could actually be the 200 period exponential moving average. It remains to be seen how quickly we fall back toward these levels. If it's a quick movement, we may come in contact here with the 100 period EMA, which is the purple line here. But if it takes a bit longer, we could see continued upside in this 200 period exponential moving average, and then this could come in contact with the prior resistance level. As we can see here, this level got at least two tests. You can really call it maybe three tests before we saw a convincing break higher. We can kind of point to that here. This would be the breakout point. Overall, I do think that we could be in for a bit of declines here because we're close to losing the support created by the 20 period exponential moving average. That's the yellow line. If we're not able to maintain support at the 50 period, the orange line, then I would expect to see a move back toward, roughly this 1650 level. And then probably a base here for another move to the top side. So this is the current market analysis for Broadcom Incorporated, stock ticker AVGO.